When it comes to producing magic in between the ropes, many would rightly argue that selling is the most vital skill a performer must master in order to tell a compelling story that a crowd can fully invest in. Every kick, punch, slam, and suplex needs to feel as authentic and painful as possible, or fans simply won't get behind a beaten down babyface or despicable heel finally receiving their comeuppance. Admittedly, it's not the end of the world if someone quickly answers back or performs a kip-up after taking a basic right hand or a power slam, yet brushing off a star's finisher is a completely different kettle of fish altogether. These moves are clearly designed to blow the roof off arenas, so when a cheeky talent decides to laugh off, deflect, or even completely no-sell a sacred match ender, it's fair to say the moment tends to raise more than a few eyebrows. For better or for worse. I'm Gareth from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 wrestlers who barely sold finishing moves. Number 10, Shawn Michaels shakes off Randy Orton's punt kick. For the longest time, it seemed like we'd seen the last of Randy Orton's highly successful punt kick. That was until Orton decided to bring back the vicious strike to the skull in 2020, during his epic feud with Edge. Yet it was his recent attack on Shawn Michaels which really got the internet talking. After taking an RKO, another highly protected move, and then a brutal punt at high speed, HBK dragged himself into the corner and acted like he was suffering from a bout of head rush after standing up too quickly. We've all been there. This ridiculous no-sell made the Viper's most savage weapon look painfully ineffective, and made the chaps who took the move before him look like complete dorks for acting like they'd been paralyzed post-punt. That's a lot of peas. We get it, Shawn, you're hard. But would it really have been so tough to lie on your stomach for a few minutes? Number 9, The Fiend easily takes Seth Rollins' best shot. While it's become quite easy to completely lambast Universal Champion Seth Rollins and The Fiend's contest inside of the formidable, distractingly red structure at Hell in a Cell 2019, the match did offer up a few moments which threatened to be quite entertaining before that ending. As the champion sensed an opening midway through the horror movie style encounter, Rollins performed his beast-slaying stomp on Wyatt's creature. Then he did it again, and again, and yeah, you get the point. But this clownish abomination was going nowhere. The Fiend's refusal to stay down after taking Rollins' once banned best shot gave the monster a feeling of genuine invincibility. Though what came after this undeniably surreal moment may not have sent fans in the Golden One Center home happy, this sequence of spectacular no-selling put Wyatt's alter ego over as a seismic threat. For a spell. Had he come out on top here after taking that level of punishment? Perhaps Hell in a Cell 2019 would actually be fondly remembered. Imagine that. Number 8, The Ultimate Warrior pops back up from a pedigree. Long before he was playing the game, Hunter Hearst Helmsley was involved in a one-on-one match with a titan of the industry in The Ultimate Warrior back in 1996. Yet, moments into their WrestleMania 12 collision, a finisher which would later earn Trips countless world championships and the status of WWE icon in his own right, didn't exactly produce the victory he was expecting. Far from it, in fact. Warrior took the now legendary pedigree while still wearing his entrance gear and popped straight back onto his feet. This understandably shocked the hell out of the future WWE Executive Vice President of Global Talent Strategy and Development. And the thousands in attendance all similarly couldn't believe what they were seeing. After proceeding to no-sell the rest of the young King of Kings offense, Warrior quickly sealed the win in just under 2 minutes, thoroughly squashing the villainous up-and-comer in the process. He did alright for himself in the end though. Number 7, Luke Harper doesn't think the Usos' kicks are that super. Battling against the Usos during their initial run as part of the Wyatt family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan challenged for their rivals' WWE Tag Team Championships at Battleground in 2014. As the bout was in its closing stages, Harper took an Uso superkick to the chin. However, instead of kicking off the finishing sequence, which usually ended in an Uso splashing off the top rope for the victory, the gifted performer had other ideas. Harper barely reacted to the kick, span around on the spot, and delivered a mean discus clothesline which very nearly earned the Wyatt family members the goal. This was no selling done right, I tells ya. The Usos' finishing kick still looked and sounded lethal, Harper felt like a bona fide star, and the unexpected reaction, or lack of, led to an explosive response from those in attendance. If only the rest of his WWE tenure had been executed this well. Number 6, Brock Lesnar kicks out of an attitude adjustment at 1. After being completely mauled by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014, you had to know the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena would come out guns blazing in their Night of Champions rematch. And oh boy, did he. As the bell rang, Cena sprinted at the Beast Incarnate. Once he'd ridden the early Lesnar storm of shoulder tackles into the corner, Cena then only went and nailed the heavyweight overlord with an attitude adjustment. Was Cena about to quickly squash the monster who'd ragdolled him around the Staples Center just a few weeks earlier? Lesnar had the answer to that question a mere second later as he powered out of the pin at a count of 1. The champion would later repeat this no-selling trick during a WWE World Championship triple threat at the 2015 Royal Rumble, proving that hitting the former UFC champion with your best shot early likely won't be enough to put down the Beast. If your name isn't Bill Goldberg, that is. Number 5, Drew McIntyre breezes through an F5, making the same mistake John Cena did during his battles with the all-conquering Brock Lesnar. Drew McIntyre also found out the hard way that the Beast Incarnate isn't a star who is easily overcome. The Scotsman quickly attempted to realize his dream of finally becoming WWE Champion early into his WrestleMania 36 showdown with the legendary figure. But Lesnar managed to kick out after taking a sickening claymore to the face. Not to be outdone by the former UFC champion though, McIntyre showed Lesnar that he wasn't dealing with just any old plucky challenger at this year's show of shows. Giving the dominant mercenary a taste of his own medicine, the Royal Rumble winner powered out of a destructive F5 before the referee even had a chance to bring his hand down for a 2 count. McIntyre would go on to become the first ever British WWE champion, and this shrugging off of an F5, coupled with Lesnar's wide-eyed response, helped put him over as the new top dog in the company. Sorry, Roman. Number 4, Road Warrior Hawk quickly dusts off a 5-star frog splash. That is a tongue twister. In May 2003, after not appearing in WWE since leaving the company in 1999, the Legion of Doom were announced as surprise challengers for Rob Van Dam and Kane's World Tag Team Championships on an episode of Raw, and the crowd went absolutely wild. Then they saw the pair go to work in the ring. Animal and Hawk still boasted the same aesthetic which had set them apart as one of the best teams in the world at one point in time. But sadly the pair didn't quite have the same aura in the ring anymore, and their performance couldn't really convince the WWE higher-ups to bring them on full-time. Their cause definitely wasn't helped though by Hawk's decision to sell RVD's crowd-popping 5-star frog splash like he'd overslept on a school day. A few seconds after the ref brought his hand down for the 3 count, Hawk bizarrely bolted up and headed up the ramp. This understandably drew a puzzled response from the Big Red Machine and Mr. Monday Night, and surely can't have impressed the likes of Vince McMahon and co. As it goes, this would be Hawk's final in-ring appearance on WWE television too, which is a bit of a shame in hindsight. Number 3, The Miz's famous Speedy Recovery. Back when Dolph Ziggler and The Miz were battling over the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam 2014, it seemed like one of Ziggler's many choices of finisher, the Famouser, had sealed the deal for the show-off challenger. Yet, in an unexpected show of resilience from the A-lister, Miz suddenly reminded Ziggler that a simple leg drop bulldog would not be enough to separate him from his precious IC title. Pinging back up to his feet in the wake of a one-legged Ziggler's Famouser, Miz burst into life and nailed his rival with a skull-crushing finale. Sure, Miz wasn't able to put away Ziggler after shrugging off this usually effective finisher, but this no-sell made him look like a surprisingly tough champion. It also suggested some power had been taken out of the Famouser due to the knee injury Ziggler had picked up in the contest. However, despite this sudden sequence, Ziggler still managed to walk out of SummerSlam as your new Intercontinental Champion. Number 2, Austin Aries craps on Starship Pain. Coming into Austin Aries and Johnny Impact's Impact World Championship match at Bound for Glory in 2018, the pair had engaged in a war of words on Twitter. Yet it was later revealed by Aries that the pair both consulted each other before clicking send on the comments. The same can't be said for the finish to their highly anticipated showdown though, as Aries caught pretty much everyone in the arena and backstage off guard with his reaction post-defeat. After taking Impact's Starship Pain and laying down for the 3 count, Aries sprung up and stormed out of the arena. Impact could be seen mouthing, "Are you kidding me?" But Aries would later insist that the immediate walkout was a work designed to drum up interest for his eventual re-emergence in the company. However, he didn't actually end up re-signing with Impact after his contract expired in the wake of this sudden exit. In the end, whether it was a work or not, this shocking lack of selling certainly got people talking. Number 1. Hulk Hogan refuses to rest in peace after a tombstone. Throughout his legendary career, Hulk Hogan would famously take a string of punches to the face from whoever he was facing at the time, and completely brush them off during his crowd-pleasing hulking up sequences. Now, no selling a few punches to the face was innocent enough. But Hogan wasn't above completely laughing off a rival's finishing move either. Long before he'd established himself as arguably the greatest performer and character in WWE history, The Undertaker challenged the Hulkster for his WWE title at Survivor Series 1991. Though the dead man would later walk out of the building as the new champion, Hogan was also determined to exit the contest looking as strong as ever in defeat. So instead of lying prone on the ground for a believable amount of time after taking the now iconic tombstone piledriver, Hogan darted back up and started to attack the paranormal figure to the sound of a deeply stunned audience because, I don't know, Hulk Hogan. Thankfully, Ric Flair brought a chair down to the ring and a second tombstone onto the weapon got the job done for the Demon of Death Valley. Even the great Hulk Hogan has no choice but to sell that kind of conclusion, folks. And that's our list. Know of any other wrestlers who barely sold finishing moves? Let us know all about them in the comment section below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button. Also, be sure to head on over to whatculture.com and click on some more awesome articles just like the one this video is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon.